Hello and welcome to today's video. This is the Joy of Christmas book tag, and this is the first book tag of the month of December. Don't worry, there are plenty more coming. I really enjoy, especially during like the festive seasons of both like Christmas and Halloween, doing these sort of tags that you just sit down and you talk about the books that come to mind when you think about the questions, and you just get to talk about books and chill and just talk. I don't know, I find them really fun both to watch and to film and like think about, so hopefully you enjoy them too. I'm gonna have this one and probably 4 to 5 others coming over the month of December, so yeah, hopefully you enjoy. If you do, then subscribe for more if you're not already. But yeah, let's just get into the tag. The Joy of Christmas book tag was originally created by Sam's Cozy Corner, and I will link that video down below for you to see where this all originated from. But except for that, there's no other like housekeeping things to say or do. There's nothing to really talk about, so let's just get into the questions. Question number 1. Anticipation. The Christmas excitement is real. What book release or releases are you most anticipating? So for me, the first kind of like release that I'm really anticipating for next year is released on January 9th, hopefully, and that is going to be Mislaid in Parts Half Known, which is the 9th book in the Wayward Children series. I absolutely love this series. I've ended up reading all of them this year. They're so good. They're small, they only take like a day or two to read for me personally, but there is so much packed into them and so many like lovable characters and like lovely like either worlds or homes to explore and see. It's just a lovely series. So if you've never heard of it, Wayward Children, book 1, we follow Nancy, and Nancy has been to another world and she's come back, and it's all about that process. So she's got to go to Eleanor West's home for wayward children to help with that process of returning home, although is home if this other world is created for them. So essentially think, like Alice in Wonderland, Chronicles of Narnia, like those sort of classic books that where the kids go on an adventure and then at the end of the book they come back and that's where the book ends. Well, this is like what it's actually like to get back into like our world, the real world, after being on this lovely adventure that as a kid like seemed like everything and seemed like it was perfect for you. Then yeah, it's so great. It's such an amazing series. I would highly recommend it, and book 9 comes out in January, so that right now is the book that I'm really anticipating. Question number 2. Christmas songs and carols. What book or author can you not help but sing its praises? The Crown of Oaths and Curses. Amazing, impeccable, 5 stars, did absolutely everything and just had me hooked. This is a massive book. I didn't actually read this physical copy. I brought this physical copy because of how much I loved it, and I'm like, no, I need to reread this and read it again and go through it and like see all of this and everything that's going on and like tab it and explain it and try and figure it out myself. It's 649 pages and I think I read it in 2 days because I just got engrossed. It was amazing. When I think of this book, like this book might take the favourite spot of the year. This might be my favourite book of 2023. I'm not 100% sure. There's a handful of books looking for that spot, and honestly I think I'm gonna have to have a serious think about it before deciding what my best book of the year was. There's probably 4 or 5 books, but this is one of those 4 or 5, and with how I feel today, this is probably gonna take the top spot. I don't know for sure. Like I need to really think about it and like think about these different books that I've read. They all are like quite different, but yeah, this is just, I could tell everyone to read it. It played with tropes in such an interesting way that like maybe it has been done before but I had never seen it done before. I just can't wait for book 2. I don't know if it says, yeah, so on the back you do learn that like essentially our 2 main characters, they're like enemies and they're also somehow fated mates. And I've seen fated mates done quite a bit, but not like this. Like these 2 do not want to be fated mates, but they both know they are, and they're gonna have to figure their shit out. So yeah, it's brutal, it's hard, so much goes on, our characters go through so much. I definitely need to read this again. I'm probably going to read it again before the end of the year, but yeah, I love this book. I we'll shut up about it now. But as you can probably tell by how much I've waffled on about it, yeah, this works. Question number 3. Gingerbread Houses. What book or series has wonderful world building? This for me is the Lady of Darkness series. There are 6 total books in this series. One of them is like a novella, so it's like 5 novels, 1 novella, and there's also loads of bonus chapters. If you want to read those as well, you can go on the author's website and read loads of bonus chapters, which I personally did every time it was time to read one. I love this, and I devoured this entire series. The world building in this was absolutely insane. Every book more and more becomes unravelled and revealed, and there's more and more to keep track of, and all these things going on, and there was so much to this world, and I completely felt like I understood it. It was done so good, but there was so much. So yeah, a series that has wonderful world building, this has to be it. Like, I definitely want to get my hands on a physical copy for this. This is the final book in this series, is also battling out against this book from the previous question. Like, these are 2 of the like big, oh my gosh, absolutely amazing. I had an amazing time. But yeah, the world building in Lady of Darkness was just, it was amazing. Like, it was truly, honestly amazing. And like that's my answer for this question. But I will also say that there are going to be so many series that have the same structure as this world. The author is working on, I think it's 5 series total, including the Lady of Darkness series. Maybe it's 6, I don't know. I found a image, I'll put it here, but there's so many series that this author is doing where like the worlds all have the same like basic, you know, like magic system, creatures, magic folk sort of thing. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but yeah, I've read one book from a different series now that had the same thing, a book that you do need to read after the Lady of Darkness series, but oh my god, like the world building just even more, like I truly don't know how it's done. Like, it's absolutely amazing, and it all makes sense, but like it all makes sense to read, but like how this is all making sense and how this is all fitting together, even reading along, you don't completely know. It's great, it's great. I could not recommend it more. Question number 4. A Christmas Carol. Favourite classic or one that you want to read? So 2 years running now I've owned this book, and I've said I'm going to sit down around Christmas time and read it. And very aptly, around Christmas time, the book that I would love to read once again this year, hopefully I actually get to it, is A Christmas Carol. Like, I don't know, it just seems like I should. Like, I've seen a few adaptations of this, obviously the Muppets being the best one, or at least the most fun one. I guess I can't say it's the best because I haven't read the source material, maybe it's completely off base, but either way, I've enjoyed the adaptations I've seen. I've never read the actual book, so yeah, like I really just feel like I should read the original text, and it's one that I can't imagine reading any other time of year except for Christmas. So I really hope that this is the year, and if not, we'll just move it on to next year, but hopefully this will be the year that I actually get around to reading A Christmas Carol. Question number 5. Christmas sweets. What book would you love to receive for Christmas? So there's a lot of books that honestly I'd love to get. Like, there are. I read. It's my only hobby. It's all I do. I absolutely love it. And there's been loads of books this year that I've read on my Kindle that are like now, you know, up there, their favourite books, their best books. They could, you know, make it to top of the year or make it to favourites of all time. I really do not know. But obviously I'd like to get some of those because I want my own copy. I want to read them. I enjoy the entire process of reading a book, which includes annotating, which I know you can do on a Kindle, but I've not completely figured that out yet. But yeah, either way, there's loads of those. But one that I haven't read that I would absolutely love to get is Once Upon a Broken Heart. This is the first book in either like a spin-off or companion series to the Caraval trilogy. I do still have the final book of the Caraval trilogy to read, which is why I haven't, like, you know, made the choice to go and purchase this series myself yet. But Once Upon a Broken Heart, it is the first book of the spin-off, and it follows characters that we've met in the Caraval trilogy but don't know that much about. I only know the characters we follow in this book, so I haven't read any more because it takes place after the Caraval trilogy, and obviously I haven't finished that one yet, so I don't want to spoil myself. But yeah, I really would like to start that trilogy as soon as possible, so I'm really hoping that I'll get Once Upon a Broken Heart this year. Question number 6. Candles in the Window. What book gives you the warm fuzzy feeling? No, look, I'm just going to go for the obvious answer. I feel like it is just the obvious answer, but that is Legends and Lattes. Yeah, I don't read that much cozy, but this is like the cozy, and it does just give you those warm fuzzy feelings. If you haven't read it, I'd highly recommend it. I would highly recommend finding like a cold weekend and snuggling up near either a real fireplace if you got one, or I personally put a fake fireplace on the TV, or wrapping yourself in blankets and just reading this. It is just warm, fuzzy, like don't go into it expecting much, it's just chill. You know, it's the same way, I would say that the way that this book is like resolved, the way this book has problems, the way anything like that is the same way that like middle grade graphic novels solve problems, where it's like you do get an answer, you do solve the problem, but it's in like the most loveliest, sweetest way possible. And the characters in this book are just everything. So yeah, warm fuzzy feeling all around for this one. Question number 7. Christmas trees and decorations. What are some of your favourite book covers? So I've just picked one for this. I don't want to be here all day, but the one book that I've read this year is called Athena. This is set in an IKEA-like store, and I just find this cover so ridiculously cool. It's just got like all of like the Allen keys and screws and bolts, and you know, it's got like which way they need to turn, and they're on like this grid, and it just looks so ridiculously cool. I just really love this cover. I also really love the book. It's a great time, and I don't know, like it just looks very like, I don't know if this makes sense, hopefully it makes sense, architecturally futuristic. I don't know, but that's the vibes I get, and I really love the cover. And yeah, it makes sense for the book without giving anything in the book away. So yeah, I really like it. Question number 8. Christmas joy. What are some of your favourite things about Christmas, and or some of your favourite Christmas memories? Honestly, as much as like this might not come across, like I do, you know, I think when I'm in the mood to be Christmassy, I am in the mood, but I'm really not a Christmas person, so I don't really have like loads to say. But there are a couple of things that over the last few years we've kind of put into place, and they're just our things that I look forward to when it gets to the Christmas time, and you know, I'm in a bit of a like, oh, it's not Christmas yet mood. The fact that, one, every year I will put the base of the tree up, and then me and my boyfriend will go through and like decorate it together and like talk about where we want this bauble and how we want this bauble to look, and like, you know, like look, our Christmas tree is like this lovely little Christmas tree. It is right next to the cat tree. It's like, you know, next to the cat tree it's like swamped, you know, like it's like a quarter of the size of the cat tree. It's not a priority, but I feel like it's just such a lovely time when we like go round and put it together, and it's just like really nice quality time where we literally just focus on like, oh, like you put a spaceman bauble over here, you can put the grapes next to it. Like, yeah, really makes no sense, but I love it. And then the other thing is, since we moved into this house in 2020, every Christmas since then we do Christmas dinner here, and we don't do like a traditional Christmas dinner at all, like what you'd expect, because we eat so much of that stuff around Christmas anyway. Like every time we see family or friends around Christmas, it normally revolves around food. So what we do is we make homemade pizza on Christmas Day. Jay makes the pizza dough the night before or that morning, and then we just make homemade pizza together, and yeah, that's our Christmas dinner, and it's really lovely, and it's become a proper little tradition, and it's just, yeah, a really lovely time. And I really like that we've made that kind of weird tradition that like feels very us. Like we still get the Christmas dinners, like we still see people at like tea times and Christmas Eve and Boxing Days and like even further surrounding that, and like it's always, you know, there's always food. But for us, when we're together on like that Christmas lunchtime area, we just make our favourite meal, which I think works really well, and I really like that about our Christmases. So yeah, that is the end of the tag. Those are all 8 of the questions. I really do hope that you enjoyed the video. I will have more tags coming. I think about 4 more, maybe 5, but I think it's 4 more that I've like got prepared and ready to go. So yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please do give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe down below if you'd like to see more content like this, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.